Khalil Rountree's face took a beating over the weekend against Alex Pereira. He took over 60 punches in that final round, which led to that knockout finish. While that was painful, his nose surgery he underwent, septoplasty, which straightens the nasal septum, was even worse for him. Septoplasty is the worst surgery on the planet. Pure pain. Despite the great effort, Khalil Rountree does not move up in the rankings. He remains number 8 in the light heavyweight division, just behind Nikita Krylov, who's number 7, who takes on Azamat Murzakanov next month. Jon Jones versus Stipe happening next month, UFC 309, November 16th. Hopefully this fight does happen. If something happens to Stipe, though, Magomed Ankalaev says he's down to fight Jon Jones. You're right. I am the best striker in the world in the light heavyweight division, Chael Sonnen. And if Jon Jones' opponent gets injured, I will fight him and I will also beat him. So he'd say he'd take a short notice fight against him. Maybe the UFC would allow something like that to happen if they're desperate. But I don't know if Jon Jones would take it. He does not like taking short notice fights. Nonetheless, hopefully this fight does happen. It's been in the works for years, and we need this fight to happen so the division can move on. Even though the fight with Stipe will probably be mostly a stand-up fight, Jon Jones has been training with Olympic wrestler Gable Stevenson.
Oh, sorry. You good?
Joaquin Buckley moves up 2 spots in the welterweight division to the number 9 position after his victory over Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who drops 2 spots. Well-deserved top 10 placement for Buckley. That was a big knockout over Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He wants Kamaru Usman next. But Usman is ranked number 2, and he doesn't seem overly interested in that fight. Take a number and get in line. I don't know how many guys that called me out. I believe he was losing that fight with Wonderboy, and it was just a way to get relentless and find the shot that eventually got the finish. So hats off to him. He did a great job. If that's the fight, then that's the fight. If not, then not. Obviously, right now I'm working on myself, trying to get myself back because I fought injured for so long where I achieved all the things that I achieved, but at some point it does catch up to you. Usman hasn't fought since that loss to Khamzat at 185. Roman Dolidze moves up 1 spot to number 9 position in the middleweight rankings after his victory over Kevin Holland. Bit of a weird ending to that one. Holland could not continue after his rib got injured. Yasmin Lucindo moves up 6 spots after her victory over Marina Rodriguez, who moves down 3 spots. Lucindo is now number 8. She's in the top 10 at 22 years of age. She has a bright future in the strawweight division in the UFC. Mario Bautista moves up 2 spots to number 9 position in the bantamweight rankings after his victory over Jose Aldo, who moves down 1 spot. A lot of fans do not like Mario Bautista's performance in that fight with Aldo. Who's worse, Diddy or Mario Bautista? One has committed horrible crimes that warrant life in prison. The other is P. Diddy. Tough break for Mario Bautista. He had a hell of a performance in the fight before that against Ricky Simon, but people are like, what have you done for me lately? And lately, you put me to fucking sleep. Going forward, they should only match up Jose Aldo with strikers who can't wrestle or won't wrestle, because otherwise guys are not going to want to strike with him. They can't take him down, so their only option to win is just pushing him up against the cage. UFC flyweight Charles Johnson does not empathize with Jose Aldo or his fans. My first coach, Mike Rogers, always said, if your back is on the cage, you're losing the fight. Stop giving Aldo a pass. He stood like a flamingo to take breath and relax when he should have continued to fight off the cage, and Bautista took advantage. Adapting and fighting IQ matters. Charles Johnson has won his last 3 fights. The last one was a knockout victory over Joshua Van. He takes on Sumu Darji on the 19th of this month. Prochazka training in Japan. He says it's the first time he's been there in 5 years. He wanted to visit the old masters to get a new point of view, to better understand the body like a weapon. Not everybody is a fan of this type of training. Brother, you need to wrestle and to do jiu-jitsu. This is all nonsense. The only guy Prochazka has lost to in the last 8 years is Alex Pereira. Twice. He's ranked number 1 in the light heavyweight division. Couple options for him for his next fight: Jamal Hill and Khalil Rountree. Nathaniel Wood has obsessive-compulsive disorder. He said he booked himself back for therapy for my OCD. Gone private this time and feeling motivated to get my brain better than ever. He's won 4 of his last 5 fights, and he beat Daniel Pineda in July. Due to flooding in the Ostrava region of the Czech Republic, KSW moves their show to Gliwice, Poland. Ovince St. Preux is no longer on the UFC roster. He was stopped by Ryan Spann over the weekend. He's 41. He's lost 8 of his last 13 fights. He at one point fought for the interim title against Jon Jones at UFC 197, which happened because Cormier got injured. One of his specialties was the Von Flue choke. He had 3 victories in the UFC via Von Flue choke. No change in the pound-for-pound rankings. Alex Pereira does not move up after his victory over Khalil Rountree. Makhachev number 1, Pereira 2. Jones and Topuria will be fighting this month and next month. If they win, we'll see if they move up. Alex Pereira's former kickboxing rival Artem Vakatov is fighting on Dana White's Contender Series tonight. He had 2 fights with Alex Pereira in Glory in 2021, 1 win and 1 loss. Both of those went the decision. Pereira's sister is kicking off the main card of Karate Combat on Friday's Salt Lake City card. Ryan Garcia says his case is dismissed. He says, "Thank you, Michael Goldstein, the best attorney on the planet." Bill Haney thinks Haney versus Garcia 2 is next. We've always been ready. Devin Haney doesn't make excuses, lawsuit or not. Let's keep it real and keep it clean, Ryan. You got 48 hours to show the world that you're ready to do the same. Hashtag VADA and hashtag fair fight. Nicholas Dalby is going to be taking on Capoeira dos Santos November 9th in Las Vegas.
Hello, everyone. I'm back home in Australia. Good to be home, but I do miss Saudi. It's a beautiful part of the world. Anyway, update on what's going on with fighting. It's been a little while, and we've been trying to push for a fight this year in November, in particular the China card, but apparently everything's booked out, so no fight this year. But fortunately, UFC is in Sydney in February, I heard, so that may be the next fight. You could see Jake Matthews fighting back in Australia after, like 4 or 5 years maybe more. And yeah, so to get a big fight in Sydney in front of the Australian crowd would be great. I know who I want. Everyone knows who I want. I think me and Neil Magny in Sydney is the fight to make. Everyone knows there's a pecking order there that needs to be sorted out, so that's the fight we're pushing for. But yeah, we're in the gym, we're training hard, so just know that we're improving every day and we'll be ready. Wherever the next fight is, if it's Sydney, if it's somewhere else, we'll be ready.
Referee Marc Goddard said the top moment of his reffing career was Holloway versus Gaethje, ending the last second of the last round of a 5-round title fight at UFC 300. There isn't even a close second place.
Don't lie to y'all, look, I was out here flexing my bicep, and look at this. Damn, Rank was taking too far of a gander, and we got ourselves a situation out here. So just let y'all know, hey, this bicep causing traffic scenes, baby.